Good day, gentlemen and ladies. Today we are Wednesday, the 26th of March 2025, and I'm presenting to you the Coleman double burner stove model 4M for Mike, basically. It was called the Tourist, and that stove, it was used by the Canadian Rangers. So these stoves start to show up by the late 1950s, early 1960s, and it was greatly appreciated by these Canadian Rangers, which are defending our north when they need more help. Then there's a lot of training, coordination with the Navy, the Air Force, and also the Army. Basically, that stove started all about the suitcase double burner stove. I'm just gonna show it to you. What's the neat feature about that is that stove was not only locked by one single hatch, which sometimes buckle because of the extensive use. It was really locked and really in good place by those two locking mechanisms. And to unlock it, they had like a little piece here. You just to push it, and that was releasing the pin right there. So by pushing it, was releasing the pin. So you switch it like this, just push it like that, and then you swivel it like this, and then you push it again to put it in place. And that was acting as basically like legs. That was the only series that they had that very neat feature. I guess they removed it because it was more, they were saving money, but it was very useful because the bottom, they had like a clearance basically. And it was locking better because in the army with the single latch, often the cover was kinking. Now the thickness of the stove was, they remained the same. They still have the famous windscreen panel, all right, which is can be oriented depending on what type of wind that you have. So you're just locking in place like this. Same thing in this place. This one I did not renovate it. I kept it original, like all the garden tractor of Joseph. Golden tractor Joseph. They don't paint the tractor. They keep it original, which is fine. And this one I did it the same. Now the grill, it is basically the same. However, this one they have embodied some grease, so the grill was really sticking to the place. Now that grill has been badly was used extensively, so I had to redress some. Okay, but other grill, there's other series like they had the hinges like this. All right, so in order to remove the tank, you need to remove it like that. Then you put it back like this. Now they had these round shaped tank, all right. Now this tank, it was not only that series, they had a series also with 3 burner later on with using these tanks. Not that model, but there's another model who soon after beginning of the 60s, they had like a larger fuel tank with 3 burner. I don't have that stove. I'm looking for it. They're getting rare. All right. Now, I'm just gonna get closer for you folks. Really easy. Important. Never use ethanol or doped gasoline. Basically, lever must be turned up to light. After 1 minute, turn the lever down. Basically, when the lever is in up position, is using the air portion of the tank. When you after 1 minute, you drop it down, it will use the fuel itself. Okay. One side it was for filling up the and that fuel has been there so a long time. That side it was for filling up. All right. And they used to have a cable here So you're not closing it. It was a strain. Okay, just gonna close it like that. The other side of the pump, which is for the pumping, the other side of the tank is for the it's the pump. All right, and then there's the valve right here. All right. Now I'm just gonna connect it right here, like so. Now I'm just gonna use a flashlight, a light which I have right here. Basically what it does, what I'm showing to you here is the hair mixer, taking some hair on the side here, mixing it. So the fuel go over the generator transform from liquid to gas, all right? Then it go with the mixture, and then it goes under here, and then you have the burner right here. Now the very nice valve right there, which I'm pointing at, it could be put outward, very easy to operate and to light up this burner right here, all right? That stove, in my mind, that's where it started out, okay? We're after the Korean War, the Forgotten War, they said from 1950 to 55. That was the Korean War. Now, it started this model was built in Canada. It said Coleman right here. Coleman, right, I hope you're able to see right there. Coleman model, made in Canada, model 4M, all right? I'm just gonna rewrap it like this, all right? And people start to having cars, start to travel with their car after it was, remember, where they had the Depression, then we have the Second World War, then from 45 to 50 people get laid off because of the war they fought. Then they have the Korean War, and then the famous 30 glorious 30s. I mean the 50s, 70s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. That's where the 30th, where the population grow, the baby boomer. So people were getting more rich, they getting having their houses or getting. And both family members were working, starting to work. All right, so that was a great asset to have during a camping gear. They can bring coffee, they can do the cooking, they can do various things, boiling water to wash the dishes after. So that's the stove who, in my mind, started all. They have other stove, of course, the single burning. They have other company, but this one, let's say it was built, I don't remember how many units they were built, but it was built like crazy amount, and everybody, especially the scout, like I told you, the army grabbed it for the Rangers, the army and the Air Force, and the Navy too. I forget that they had these also when they practice. Not on the boat, but when they do land, and then when they do humanitarian aid or other action. All right. So this is a short story. So, and I've got approved, and it was also used by the Canadian Army Air Force in Europe. Okay. When they closed down the base, like I told you, they sold all the excess to the army surplus. Now this story, my personal story with that stove, and I'm going to show it to you. It was sold in in Drummondville in Quebec by a couple who were basically selling their house, and they sold it, and I bought it for $25. I was living in Shefford, and I was with Marianne when we went to buy it, and the condition is very good. Of course there's some rust here, but I keep it in a dry environment in my garage, and it's working good. It's working so good, I'm using that stove to warm up my oil grease mix to shoot my car at the springtime. Well, during the springtime it's only oil and hydraulic oil, but in the springtime and fall time I'm using oil, hydraulic oil, and grease. I mix it together, and that's the stove I'm using to bring that grease to a liquid state, let's say. All right, enough talking, yapping. So please thank you again for all your standing support. Let's try that stove. All right, stick around. All right, folks. So I put it over my barbecue. What we're going to do? I'm just going to pump. Usually, it's a couple. I don't have the instruction manual, but everything is written on the tank. All right. So I'm just gonna make sure then right here, then like this. All right. Now this time I'm gonna cheat. So I'm going to put the lever up. Okay. Open it. Put the lighting. There we go. Now I'm going to. Now I learned by my experience not opening yet the second burn. So while I'm talking, now the Canadian Ranger in the north, they don't carry water with them. So what they do basically is they take snow and they pack it inside of like a not like a bucket like this. This is a whole kitchen bucket like for the steam line. But basically they packed it, all right, and then they boil it to sterilize the snow. Okay, so it's been 1 minute, so I'm gonna put it down, and then I'm going to light up the second burner just for the heck of it. There we go. Really easy to operate. You see, no problem, no fuss. Now I'm gonna put it in full afterburner. I'm gonna put some air pressure into there. The thing in the north is you get a single or double burner or triple burner. You have a great source of heat right away. Very easy to carry, very easy to put on a toboggan, to put in a droppable kit from an aircraft to help guys on the ground. All right. Now I'm just gonna. There we go. Like I said, the valve needs some cleanup. So now I'm just gonna deposit the snow over it. Now the output on this side it's roughly 7,000 BTU. On this side, roughly 4,000 BTUs. So the big cooking was happening on this side of the burner. So that's why most of the stove, the suitcase stove I call it, it's burned on that side, and this one is more for simmering action. For the army-wise stove, it was a great for cooking, keeping the tent heated, the 6-man, 10-man, and larger tent also, and also for boiling meals. Now I'm just gonna put my glove because that thing must be warm on the top, maybe. Yeah, it's starting to melt. I'm just gonna quit to show it to you. I mean, we've just been talking since 6 minutes. And just to show it to you, the water is already starting to say that. All right, and I say I don't need to to show it to you, but that's how they do have drinkable water. They use snow, but they boil it first. Okay. Nowadays, also I forget to mention, there's also reverse osmosis pump. So basically, they take the seawater, they pump that reverse osmosis pump, and it's drinkable water. It's remove the salt from the water, and then they do have that. We do install these reverse osmosis pump inside of survival kits. You see, it's starting to already to boil CFA. But I don't want to keep you too long. I just give you a quick demo. Just to show it to you. I don't know if you're able to see, but the water is almost, the snow is already melted. All right. Like I say, I packed it pretty tight. Usually, yeah, 2/3 of snow will build 1/3 of water, basically, if you packed it pretty good. All right. So again, I know it's not a popular series, especially the last one. Whew, it was not popular at all, but I like your support. I like showing stuff, tell you stories, stuff like that, and my hobbies, having these stoves, they bring me a lot of good memories, fixing them. All right. So again, thank you very kindly for all your standing support. Remember, folks, life is very good. All right. Spring lady is starting to win the war against the cold winter man. However, we still have a cold snap coming up. We're still gonna be like minus 17 on Friday night and Saturday night, minus 17. What? It's yeah. Well, life is good. All right, take care of yourself. Life is good. All right, cheers. All right, just an update. I completely forgot. When it's starting to boil, as you can see, before shutting down the valve here, and it said to shut off, turn the lever up 1 minute before shutting down the stove. The reason why it's to empty the generator from the fuel, so that way the fuel doesn't go bad and it keep the valve, the generator clean. And it's been at least 7 minutes it takes, so total maybe 15 minutes to boil that snow up. And as you can see there, I'm just gonna open it like that. It's it's boiling in there. All right, now it's been 1 minute. I'm just gonna close it. And when it's closed, I'm not gonna touch it for another half an hour because it's red. It's really warm, so it's not the time to put the tank back in there. You need to cool it off. Make sure because you don't want your stove like going kaboom. All right, so take care of yourself. Cheers.